Hello, welcome to yoga. I'm glad you could join me today. We're going to start in tabletop. So if you will, come onto all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let the tops of the feet rest on the ground. Spread your fingers out wide. And as you inhale, we're going to turn the toes under to stretch the bottoms of the feet. Draw the belly down, bring the gaze forward, coming into cow. And then as you exhale, flatten out the feet, press into the hands, curl the spine up, coming into cat. So let's do that a few more times. Inhale, tuck the toes under, bring the gaze forward, draw the belly down. And then exhale, press the spine up, tuck the chin, press the tops of the feet into the floor. Let's do two more. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale, trying to belly breathe here, breathing through the nose, and exhale. And then release, come into a neutral position or a tabletop position. Press into the hands so the arms are really strong and straight. Lift the belly toward the spine so the abdominals are really active and strong. And then keeping all that strong, arms strong, abdominals strong, reach your right foot behind you. So flex your right foot so all 5 toes point down toward the ground. Notice if your right hip is higher than your left, and if it is, try to bring it down so your hips are level. Press into the hands again, lift the belly again, and then stretch the left arm forward and out, reaching through the left fingers and the right heel. Take a full breath. Exhale, release, bring the left hand, right knee down, spread the knees out, sit back in child's pose. Take 2 hands to the top, let your forehead rest on the ground. It would be okay to fold one arm if you need to under the forehead, and just take a few rounds of belly breath. Feel your breath moving through your body, inhaling and exhaling through your nose with your mouth closed. Taking a moment just to connect to your breath. One more full breath here. And then lift your way back up to tabletop. Slide the hands under the shoulders, tuck the knees underneath the hips. And we'll do a second set of cat-cows. So as you inhale, draw the toes under, draw the belly down, bring the gaze forward. And as you exhale, flatten out the feet, curl the spine, tuck your chin, tuck your hips. Let's do maybe 2 more. So inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time, inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. And then release back to neutral, coming back to tabletop. Strong in your arms, strong in your abdominals. Reach your left leg behind you. Flex your foot. Point 5 toes to the ground. Try to level your hips if you need to. Reach the right arm out. So opposite direction with the right fingers and the left heel. Take a big breath. And then as you exhale, right hand, left knee come down, space the knees wide, sit back in child's pose, and we'll just pause again here for 3 breaths. Try to breathe through your belly if you can. One more round of belly breath. And then lift your way back up to tabletop. tuck the knees a little closer. Keep the hands a little higher than your shoulders. Tuck your toes, lift up your knees, and come up to downward facing dog. Pedal your legs out a few times here. Alternate bending one knee and then the other. Take another belly breath. And then gently walk your hands and feet together. Maybe in the middle of your mat, maybe a little bit more toward the top of your mat. Take your elbows. Come into ragdoll. Knees can be really bent here, so it's important that you're fairly comfortable. Let your arms hang heavy, let your head hang heavy. It's okay to straighten the knees a little bit as long as your hamstrings feel okay. Take a full belly breath. And as you exhale, we're just going to release the arms, letting the arms hang. Bend the knees, tuck your chin into your chest, and then curl the spine. We're going to come up to standing slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Just trying to move through all parts of the back, the low back, the mid back, the upper back, until we're all the way up on our feet. Chest is going to lift, shoulders come back and down, and then the head lifts up last. Bring your hands together at your chest. This is Anjali Mudra or prayer. Palms pressing together, thumbs close to the chest. Make sure your feet are just a little bit apart, so we don't want them too close together so that we're standing really strong and solid on our legs. Right here, gaze forward. See if you can take a belly breath here, breathing in through the nose, expanding the belly, and then out through the nose, releasing the belly. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms overhead, reach through all 10 fingers, but keep your shoulders pulling down. As you exhale, separate your hands, soften your knees, swan dive, and come right back into ragdoll. Take a full breath here. At the end of your exhale, release your arms, bend your knees, curl your spine, come back up to standing slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Stacking up as you go, creating that length in the spine. Chest is going to lift, shoulders come back and down, head comes up last, hands come to prayer. Take a breath here. Turn your kneecaps forward, draw your low belly in. And then as you inhale again, sweep your arms overhead, reach through your fingers, keep your shoulders down. And then exhale again, swan dive to that forward fold. This time, keeping your hands on the ground, we're going to keep the left foot just where it is and step the right foot back to a runner's lunge. So as you come into a runner's lunge, you want to be real careful with your left knee. If you have your knee really out far in front of your ankle, you want to walk your ankle underneath your knee. So you've got a perpendicular line in your shin. Let your hips drop just a little bit. And then we'll drop the right knee down toward the ground. Take your left hand to your left knee and reach your right arm up. So we're coming into a low lunge. So depending on how your hips feel, it might feel better to ease out just a little bit. If you want a deeper stretch, you're going to lean in toward that left heel. Keep your upper body really lifting and tall. Stay for one more breath. Make it a belly breath if you can. And then reach down, two hands around that left foot. Push your hips back. Lift the sole of the left foot off the ground if you can. And then lean forward again. We're going to do that maybe 2 times. So as you push back, reach the sole of the left foot off the ground, straightening the left knee a little bit or a lot depending on how you feel there. One more time, push back. And we're just going to hold in this position and take a breath. So good deep hamstring stretch here for the left leg. This knee can be as bent as you need it to be. And then once you've had that breath, bend your left knee again, walk your hands around your left foot, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee up, And we're gonna step the left foot back to the right foot and come back into downward facing dog. So option to pedal the legs out a few times here, or you could just be still and breathe. 2 more rounds of belly breath. One more full belly breath. And then just like we did before, walk the hands and feet together. Come back to ragdoll. Take your elbows, tuck your chin, let your head hang, bend your knees a little bit, stay for a breath. And let the arms go, tuck your chin, curl your way up to standing. Take your time coming up, stacking up each vertebrae as you go. Shoulders come back and down, head comes up last, hands come to your chest. Take a breath here. Strong legs, strong belly. Inhale, sweep your arms back overhead. Exhale, swan dive, come back into your forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to, putting your hands on the ground. This time, step your left foot back so the right foot stays forward. Dropping the hips down, finding that perpendicular shin in the right leg. If the right heel is back and that knee is really far forward, pick up the foot and move it so it's underneath the ankle. Take another full breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and drop your left knee down. Untuck your toes. Right hand goes to the right thigh and the left arm reaches overhead. So remember, ease back a little bit if it's too much for the hips, and drop in a little bit more if you want more stretch in your hips. Upper body is long and lifting. Take a full breath. And then as you exhale, 2 hands around the right foot, and we're just gonna shift the hips back, keeping that bend in the right knee. And then we'll rock back and forth a few times. So the hips drop forward. As you push back, try to lift the sole of the right foot off the ground. Let's go 2 more times. Leaning in, pressing back. 1 more time, leaning in, dropping the hips down, and then pressing back. We'll hold on to this hamstring release. 2 big rounds of belly breath here. Remember to keep that right knee bent if you need to. If you straighten the knee, you might be able to bend a little deeper in that forward fold. Last big breath. And then just bend the right knee. Lean your weight forward. Plant the hands around the right foot. Tuck the left toes. Pick up the left knee. Step back, down dog. An option to pedal out the legs one last time. Or finding stillness. Take 2 full belly breaths. Try to move your shoulders away from your ears, bending the knees a little bit if you need to. Last big breath. And as you exhale here, just look forward. We're going to walk the feet up to the hands, keeping the knees soft if you need to. And then long straight spine, reverse swan dive. So we want the knees to be soft, the spine long and straight. Reach all the way up. And then exhale, bring your hands to your chest, finding that mountain pose position again. So stay here. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see what we're doing. We're going to shift weight into our left foot. Pick up your right foot and angle your right knee out to the side. Your right foot can go against your left ankle, your left calf, or if you want to use your right hand to pull your right foot a little higher against your left inner thigh. We're coming into tree pose. So the lower you keep your foot, the easier it's going to be to balance. The higher you bring your foot, the more you're going to challenge your balance. So one thing that might help is if you look at something that's not moving. So find a spot on the floor or on the wall and really keep your eyes on that spot. And if you feel like you're steady here, you can reach your arms overhead, draw your shoulder blades down, lift your chest, and think about stacking your spine. So your head sits right over your hips. Your hips are going to sit right over that left ankle. Take another full breath here. This is tree pose. And then bring your hands back to your chest. We're going to float the right foot back down to the ground and switch it up. So step onto the right leg, angle the left knee out, either tucking the left foot to the inner ankle or the calf or above the knee, so we don't want to press right on the knee. Above the knee or below the knee is great. And then we're going to stack the spine. Find that same gazing point, fix your gaze. And if you feel steady, reach the arms overhead. Just make sure if you're reaching the arms up, we're not hunching the shoulders. So we want the shoulders to stay relaxed, even though the arms are long and straight. Take a big breath. And then hands come back to your chest. Float the left foot down and step back down onto 2 feet. So if you're still here facing the top of your mat, if you have a mat, go ahead and turn sideways, and we're going to step the feet really wide apart. So we're going to look like a triangle. So the feet are wider than the hips. From here, take your arms out in a T. We're going to take the right foot and turn the right big toe in the same direction that the right fingers are pointing. The left foot is going to stay straight ahead. From here, keeping the arms out in that capital T, start to bend into your right knee. So as you do that, try to press your knee right over the middle of your foot. So this is warrior 2. Really strong, long, straight arms, reaching through the fingertips, keeping your left leg really strong as well. Turn your right palm up to face the ceiling and then tip sideways to the left. This is peaceful warrior. Feel a big stretch in your right rib cage. Take a belly breath. And then as you inhale, come back up to warrior 2. And we'll take the right elbow toward the right thigh. Stretch the left arm up toward the ceiling and come into extended side angle. See if you can lift into the left fingertips. So instead of dumping into the right arm, we want to reach into the left arm and keep the weight away from the right thigh. Take a big belly breath. Inhale, come all the way back up to warrior 2, reaching 2 hands out to the sides. Maybe a little deeper bend in the right knee here just for a breath. And then go ahead and straighten the right knee, drop your hands to your hips, flip both feet to face forward, and then we're going to lean forward and find a wide leg forward fold. So as you bend over, you can bend your knees to be comfortable here. Walk your hands underneath your chest. Go ahead and keep sinking into that forward fold, keeping the knees soft if you need to. You might be flexible enough to walk your feet a little farther between your hands a little farther between your feet. Just another belly breath here. And then walk your hands underneath your chest. Bend your knees to get there if you need to. We're going to keep the left hand down, sweep the right arm up, and take that twist to the right side. Our goal here is to take the right hand above the right shoulder. If it's not quite there today, that's okay. That's why it's called practice. We're just going to keep stretching as deeply as we can with no pain. One big breath. And then release the right hand down. When you're ready, on a big inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching as high as you can. It's okay to bend the knees. Get that rotation in the spine and take a big breath. And then release. 2 hands come back down to the floor. Walk your weight back into your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. With a little bend in the knees, long spine. Come all the way back up to standing. Good job. Open the arms out in a T. Flip your left foot toward the left side, reaching in the same direction as the left fingers. Keep your right foot facing forward and then sink into your left knee, coming into warrior 2 this side. As you do that, make sure the knee moves over the middle of the foot. Right shoulder pulls back, arms are long and straight. Turn your left palm up, tip back to peaceful. Feel that big stretch in the left side of the body. Take a big breath there. Keep your legs really strong. And then inhale, rise up, warrior two. And then the left elbow drops to the left thigh. The right arm reaches straight up. Reach into the right fingertips. So we're lifting our body weight away from the ground. Take a big breath. And then with really strong legs, come back up to warrior two. Maybe there's a little bit more bend in that left knee just for a breath. And then straighten the left knee, point two big toes toward the front, drop your hands to your hips, and then lean back into that wide leg forward fold. So this time, if you want a little bit different variation, bending the knees again, you could either keep the hands under the chest, or you could reach out and hold the calves, or the ankles, or the edges of the feet. And we'll take 2 full breaths here. One more round of breath. And then walk your hands back underneath your chest. We'll start to the left this time, so the right hand stays down. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Take a big breath. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Take a big breath. Exhale, right hand down. Shift your weight back into your feet. Walk your hands to your hips with your knees soft. Come all the way back up. Be careful coming up. You don't want to head rush. And then once you get up, just start to heel toe the feet together. Bring your hands back to your heart. Turn back up to the top of your mat if you have a mat. Coming back into mountain pose. So one breath here. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, fold forward, bend your knees as you go. Plant your hands on the ground, and we're going to take 2 steps back to downward facing dog. Option to pedal out the legs again if that feels good. We'll just take 1 breath. And then lift your right foot off the ground. It doesn't have to go high, just pick it up. And then we're going to bring the right knee toward the right wrist and come into pigeon. So notice as you do this, I'll turn a little bit so you can see. The hands are planted. The right shin is between the hands. And we're going to reach the left leg behind us. If it's hard to reach the left leg behind you, you can always let the left leg go out to the left side so you're a little bit more at a 90-90 position. So either pigeon here, or this 90-90 adaptation for pigeon. And we're just going to walk into a forward fold. So if you're in pigeon, try to take the top of the left foot toward the floor, the top of the left thigh, the back leg, the top of the thigh toward the floor, and then the kneecap toward the floor. And you might be here. If this is a deep stretch here, that's all you need to do. You may be able to walk to the elbows. You may be able to fold your arms and rest your head. You might be able to stretch your arms out and drop your chest. We'll take 3 long, slow, full breaths. And once you've had those 3 breaths, just walk your way back up onto your hands. Tuck your left toes under. We're just going to step back to down dog. This is a great place to pedal the legs a little bit before you switch sides. And then we'll reach the left foot up. Doesn't have to be high. And then bring the left knee forward to pigeon. So again, the left knee goes toward the left wrist. The left ankle comes in front of the right wrist. You can always bring that right knee sideways, coming to that 90-90 stretch. Or if you're keeping the right leg behind you, try to touch the top of the foot to the floor, the top of the thigh moves toward the floor, and either stay up on the hands, come down to the elbows, or come down to the chest or the forehead. So again, staying for a good long set of breaths, giving your hips time to release and relax. And try to breathe through the belly here. Let's take 2 more slow, full breaths. And once you've had those 2 breaths, go ahead and walk your way back up. And this time, we're just going to come to seated. So lean to the left. Bring your right leg around. Extend your legs in front of you so the legs are long and straight. Reach your arms out and then point your toes away from your chest. Keep your abdominals really strong. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest. Come all the way down the back. Just coming down as slowly as you can, trying to use the abdominals to get there. And once you get all the way down, go ahead and bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, scoot your feet close to your butt, drop your hands with your palms facing down, keep your head down, keep your shoulders down, and then pressing into your feet, lift your hips off the ground. So it might be a little lift, it might be a really big lift, but we do want to make sure the heels stay down on the ground, the hands are down, the shoulders are down. We're pressing into the feet to drive the hips up. This is bridge pose. Just take a breath. And then uncurl the spine, so bring the hips back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Open the arms out in a T with the arms, the palms facing up. Walk your feet out wide, and then just start to windshield wiper the knees. Drop the knees right and left. And the next time your knees go to the right, keep your knees on the right. If you want a little bit deeper twist here, take your right heel to the top of your left leg and give yourself a little traction twist. 2 shoulder blades on the ground. You can either look up to the ceiling or look over to your left hand. Let's take 2 rounds of belly breath. And then slide your right heel down if it's up. Take a few more windshield wipers side to side with the knees. And then the next time your knees go to the left, keep your knees on the left side. If you want traction, put your left heel on your right thigh. You don't have to do that. You can just keep your feet on the floor. Make sure your shoulder blades are touching the floor, and either look up or look over to your right hand. And we'll take a few breaths here. Try to breathe through your belly again, slowing everything down, deepening your breaths. And then if you have your left heel up, go ahead and slide it down. Bring your knees back to center. Bring your knees into your chest, and we're going to come into happy baby. So just bend your knees, reach for the outer calves or the ankles or the edges of the feet. The knees are really wide, the legs are wide, and you're just holding your ankles or your feet and just rock yourself back and forth. So this is called happy baby because a lot of the times when babies are sitting, they'll reach up and hold their feet. And it just kind of feels good on the back and the hips. And then from here, we're just going to bring the knees together. Extend your legs out really long. Bring your arms down by your body. Turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Take a second here to lift up and tuck your shoulder blades under one side and then the other. And then take a second to drop your chin just a little bit towards your chest. Close your eyes. Let your body weight really drop to the floor, as if your whole body were melting into the floor. We're going to finish our practice today by just taking maybe 10 big, slow, deep breaths. So if you would like to bring a hand to your belly, you can rest a hand on your belly. Go back to belly breathing. In through the nose and out through the nose. And try to make your inhales really full and your exhales really slow. Take 2 more full, deep belly breaths here. And once you've had those last 2 breaths, just reach your arms overhead, point your toes. Give your whole body a big squeeze and a stretch, just like it's first thing in the morning. And then tuck your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Curl up into cannonball. You can rock side to side a few times. And as soon as you feel ready, just rock your way up to a seated position. Cross your legs. Bring your hands to your chest. You can bow your head forward, close your eyes. And just before we finish today, let's just think of one thing today that we're grateful for. So anything small or large in your life that you are grateful for today. And then lift up your head, open your eyes. I thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day and namaste.